Hey everybody, Tim Dwyer here from South Australia. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And yes, the time really is here for the reformation of this Commonwealth of our Australia. Um, you know, when you've got a Prime Minister who stands up in election time and says all you need is your Medicare card, nothing else to go to the doctor, he's a lying sack of shit. Then you've got him standing up in Parliament saying, we know nothing about the ISIS brides, nothing about the Muslim terrorist group coming back into Australia. And then Tony Burke gets up and says, well, of course we have to help them. They applied for a passport, blah, blah, blah. He has misled the Parliament. He has misled the population on many, 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 many occasions. And then he and Penny Wong try and take credit for the ceasefire in Israel and Gaza. Like you've got to just stop, because the whole system is so bloody broken. It's like a car windscreen shattered by a brick and it falls all over the ground. You can't put it back together. It doesn't work. The system is broken. Let me share the screen. And let me start with this. You see, Topher Field, I like Topher, good bloke. And I have had the pleasure of meeting him. Not that I guess he would remember that, but that doesn't matter. Topher Field says, good people break bad laws. And all we've got at the moment is bad laws. And he's got another book that says good Christians break bad laws. Thomas Jefferson, now all right, he's an American, but the philosophy is true of all mankind, that if a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obligated to do so, because by complying with bad laws, you give the bad law maker credibility. Here in Australia, the Chief Justice Latham back in 1942 said a pretend law made in excess of power is not and never has been a law at all, and anybody in the country is entitled to disregard it. Understand that our Constitution says that every politician must take and swear and affirm the oath, affirm or give the oath of allegiance as per what's in the schedule of our Constitution. Not one. Bob Hawke was the last one to do it. And every one of them since then has broken the constitutional law. A pretend law made in excess of power is not, never has been a law at all. So all we've had since for the last 40 years is pretend laws. The law of the Commonwealth is here within this annotated Constitution. It is held within here. And the explanations of how we got our Commonwealth Constitution and all the definitions therein are within this book. This green heap of crap that they are running on, this is their corporate document. Like any other company must have a constitution. This is legally separate from the Commonwealth. And if you don't believe me, go and bloody look it up. And if you think this can't be right, then go and look it up. The truth is the truth. Corinne and I, we get the constitutions reprinted. This is a copy of an original constitution of a Quick and Garran annotated version. We market them, we sell them. And I can tell you, we don't make any bloody money out of it at the end of the day. We literally do not. To order your copy of the original Constitution, email cm@ourtrueaustralia.com. They cost $185 plus $15 postage. And we have them in stock and they're ready to go. And you will have a historical document of law, of the original law of this country. They won't pull the bloody wool over your eyes after that. All we need is knowledge that is truthful and lawful. You see, Magna Carta of 1215 still exists. The English Bill of Rights still exists, and both came to us via our Constitution. Come on, people. Don't believe the rubbish you're being told by Penny All Wong and Elbow Sleazeguts. It's just rubbish. And the state premiers, they're no better. The state parliaments, no better. Let's move right along to what I really want to talk about today. The 31st of October is the anniversary of the charge of the Light Horse Brigade at Bathsheba. Now, these guys, they sent God's Spirit before them, and the victory was an absolute miracle. Now, I want you to just ask yourself a question. We're going into a time of peril in this country. Will you stand up for Australia, or will you kneel and become enslaved? Will you? Which way will you go? I want to explain something to you. 800 real Australians charged 6,600 Muslim machine guns and rifles. And don't forget, Elbow got a death threat over the internet, and he now has to be scared of how he appears in public. Poor little fellow. Poor little man, right? 32 of the Australians were killed in this charge. Now, let me explain something to you. Before the charge, they prayed. They got in a circle and they prayed. 800 men prayed that God would send his army before them and protect them. And 32 were only killed when they charged. And when the Turks were routed out of their trenches, right, they surrendered. And when they were interviewed, they were asked, why did you get up and run? You had us outgunned. And they said, we had never seen such a massive army of huge beings thundering through the desert. We stood no chance. That was God's army that they claimed before them. They sent God's Spirit before the battle. Now, in the unholy name of multiculturalism, the Muslim terror group Hamas has taken over Sydney. Because you see, what happened back at Bathsheba was, it's scriptural that whoever blesses and protects God's land, God will bless them indeed. Right? Now, so after Bathsheba, was Australia blessed? Well, you've got to look at the growth this country had and the success and the wealth and everything that poured out of this country. We were blessed indeed. But successive governments, Liberal, Labor, Greens, Communists, unholy people, ungodly people, now these unholy people have brought a terror group into Sydney, into Australia, into every state of Australia. And the churches and the people fear to speak against them because they might be called things like racist or you're an Islamophobic. If God is God, why do we fear man? If God is God, pastor, minister, priest, if God is God, if God is your God, why do you fear man? And you can say, oh, well, I don't. Yes, you do. You shut your churches down at the click of a finger. Whack, just like that 5 years ago. I hope you've grown some spine since then. You see, the 800 Australians removed the Muslims from the Holy Land. The Great Crusades couldn't do it. What's his face? The French guy, Napoleon. He couldn't do it. They all tried. By the thousands of men, 800 Australians, real men, stood, rode, died, and had victory. In Genesis 26:1 through to verse 5. Chapter 3 it says, and I will bless them that bless thee. That's why Australia was blessed, for getting the Turks out of the Holy Land. And I will curse him that curses thee. Now, we'll get to this. And in thee shall all the families on the earth be blessed. So let me explain this. We were blessed because we routed the Australians and the New Zealanders, routed the Turks out of the Holy Land and gave the Holy Land back to the descendants of Abraham. Now we're being cursed. Why are we being cursed? Because we are cursed God. It is my belief. We have this multiculturalism rubbish in our country. We've made a law, a man's law, that says you can kill an innocent unborn baby at its point of birth. And Penny Wong is a great proponent of this. We have passed rules that same-sex marriage is fine. We've got the churches all bowing down. The great Church of England has now collapsed into all this rubbish. And you wonder why we're in trouble? Oh, it's not hard to figure out. We took God out of the schools. We take God out of the courtroom. We take God out of everything and wonder why we get all upset because the devil's running rampant all over our country, all over our children, all over everything. Not hard to figure out, just hard to admit to, that's all. Look, there you go. There's Sydney Harbour Bridge, full of the organisational people, Hamas. Hamas rule Palestine. And here they are, bitching and whinging on our home soil. Multiculturalism. It's okay. They just mutilate the genitalia of their female children. That's okay. They can have multiple wives. That's okay. They can rout the system. That's okay. Just don't upset them. In Revelation, they talk about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. There's the green horse, the black horse, the red horse, and the white horse. And if we look at the flags from the Islamic countries, what do we see? The colours of the apocalyptic horsemen. And you wonder why we're in trouble. Oh, I see. Are we getting it yet? Do you know what the apocalypse is about? Do you know what? Yeah, go and have a look. I'm not going to spell it all out for you. Go and have a look. But keep in mind, every aspect of government from Bob Hawke forward has created this shithole. Period. End of story. You see, if you don't believe me, have a look at history. Afghanistan in 1970 versus Afghanistan in 2012. Wow. Iran was actually called the Paris of the East back in the 70s. Not so much now. The Islamists took over. The Islamists. They come in and they're very polite and oh, thank you, until they get enough numbers, and then this is their game. Now, here's Europe, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand at the moment. Here's what it will look like in the future if we do not make a stand and stop it. And I don't know whether you noticed much about what's going on with the Indian migrants, but here's the Indian housing standards, and that's what Australia will look like by the 40s. By 2040s, this is what you're going to start to see in Australia. If you stay silent, fearful, weak. Do you think those 800 blokes charging the machine guns might have had a bit more spine in them than what you're currently showing? Maybe. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know about you. They don't celebrate the Battle of Bathsheba. It's the greatest victory we've ever had in our military history. We celebrate Anzac Day, and I'm not complaining about Anzac Day, except that's a battle that we had our ass handed to us on a plate. So I want to celebrate the victory. And nowhere can I find a celebration, so I'm having my own. And so you're invited to come and join in a prayer and protest and a celebration of Friday, the 31st of October. Now, this will probably only relate to the people in South Australia. And look, I might well be there on my own. But it is at Pioneer Park in Gawler. Murray Street is the main street of Gawler, and Lyndoch Road is the road off to the Barossa Valley. Easy enough to find Pioneer Park. And I'm going to be there from 5 o'clock onwards. And I will be praying. I will be celebrating the victory of the Battle of Bathsheba, the charge of the Light Horse Brigade. And if anybody wants to listen, I will be talking about the Reformation of Australia, a protest against the government. So that's what's going on 31st of October here in Gawler in South Australia. And truly, if you come, I'd love to see you. I'm going to be at the Rotunda up that end of it. There it is up here. I'm going to be there in the shade. It'll be a warm day. And I'm going to have a lovely time. Bring your own chairs and blankets to sit on. Bring your own food and drink. Bring a few friends. Whatever you want to do. But I will be there. You see, war is when your government orders you to fight the enemy. And revolution is when you realise the government is the enemy. And the great John Locke of 1600s through to the 1700s, John Locke, a magnificent mind. The two treaties of government, natural rights, life, liberty, and property. The right to govern comes from the consent of the people who want their natural rights protected, and the right to rebel against an unjust government. An unjust government. And that is exactly what we have, and we have the right to rebel against it. You see, the new federal, who are they? The Australian Federal Police. The Australian Federal Police. You got to understand, they are not the Commonwealth Federal Police, because Gough Whitlam wiped them out with a stroke of a pen when he got rid of the Commonwealth out of everything. So the new Australian Federal Police units to enforce social cohesion, right? This new woman at the head of the AFP, she wants to enforce social cohesion. So if you speak against cohesion, you're in trouble. So let's have a look at cohesion. Cohesion, the state of sticking together or of people being in close agreement and working well together. Well, we Australians are pretty bloody good at that. But here's Australia in 2025. They bring in mass migration, incompatible migration. They bring in Chinese that can't speak English. They bring in Indians that can't speak English. They have no understanding of our culture. They force us out of our own homes almost. Mass migration. It is government that has caused the lack of cohesion here. They brought the lack of cohesion in. The high energy costs, which is destroying businesses hand over fist. That is destroying our cohesive business, all thanks to the government, Elbow and his lunatic mob. The Muslim machete attacks. Oh, let us be cohesive, you twat. The Muslim machete attack people are brought in, imported into this bloody country by guess who? Oh, the government. And they want cohesion, and yet they bring in this shit that forces cohesion to collapse. The cost of living crisis. Oh, that's good for cohesion, you lunatics. This could all be stopped. There are processes that can stop this. The pro-Palestinian stuff. You give the Palestinians the lawful right to march across our bloody landmark bridge in this country and complain and bitch and whinge about their circumstances, and you separate the country. Thank you to the government. So I think the new police commissioner of the federal police must go and have a good sit down with the people in Canberra who are just down the road from her office and say, hey, you're not setting it up for cohesiveness. No lawful oath of office. Oh, here's a good one. Not any politician in this country has ever sworn the lawful oath of office as to be found in our Constitution. That's a great way to get cohesiveness, is have criminals sitting in a house making laws and rules that we are not going to obey. Pro-Chinese communism. Elbows so far up the rear end of the Chinese, it is unbelievable. And there is a strong rumour that Penny Wong has always been a CCP operative. Cohesion, oh, very good cohesion. Let's have some more cohesion through the Chinese government and their little tracking systems. Hey, you know, your new Chinese cars you bought, your BYDs and the whatever else's, you do know that everything that is said inside those cars via the Bluetooth does go back to China. You do realise that. And everywhere the car's been and everything you've done in it is now recorded in China. You do get it, don't you? Oh, you didn't know? Oh, better have a look at that. The record homelessness. Oh, here's a great way to create cohesiveness. And if we bitch and complain about any of these aspects, the new federal police chief is going to come down on us hard. Why? Is democracy dead? Literally wiped out of Australia? Are we now to live in fear of our own thoughts and words, of pointing out the truth? Is the truth an absolute crime according to the federal police? We'll see. The broken health system. Oh, my Lord, how about this? The health system is so busted, there is not a spare bed in any hospital in this country. That's how busted it is, and they still keep bringing in more people. And then you get to see a doctor to whom it's difficult to understand because their English is not that good. And the digital ID. Well, here we go. Digital ID. You want to get onto social media, you got to have your digital ID. You want to go here, you got to have your digital ID. You want to create division in a country, this is what will do it. This has got nothing to do with being respectful or anything else. You want to track me like a bloody cow or a sheep or a pig with a tag in my ear? Bring it on. It ain't happening. And it's all, every aspect of problem we have in this country is caused by the government. Every aspect of, from your finances to your social cohesion to the whole shooting match, your health, the whole thing, it is at the behest of the government. They have caused every bloody bit of it. Good people break bad laws, and if a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obligated to do so. We are obligated to do so. And a pretend law made in excess of power is not, never has been any law at all, and anybody in the country is entitled to disregard it. Chief Justice Latham of the High Court of Australia, 1942. Let's go. Now, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Human Rights Commission Act of 1986, Article 19, Paragraph 2. Listen to this, Police Commissioner of the Federal Police. Listen to this, Julie Inman Grant. Listen to this, Elbow Sleeves Bucket. Everybody shall have the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers, either orally, in writing, or in print, in the form of art, or through any other media of his choice. Got it? Good. So, you're invited to come and join in prayer and protest with me on the 31st of October at 5 p.m. in Gawler. Check it out. This could be a great afternoon, or I might be there all by myself. Not Bob Hawke, sleazebag Hawke. God, they should. Anyway, don't get me started. Bob Hawke said that no Australian child will be living in poverty by 1990. Elbow sleaze bucket, most Australian families will be living in poverty under elbow sleazy. And you think that's incorrect? Well, let's have a look. Around half of all families say their finances are worse off than a year ago, according to the Westpac Melbourne Institute survey of consumer sentiment. 30% of all families expect their finances to worsen further in the year ahead, according to the same consumer sentiment. But listen to this one. Australia records the biggest income decline in the developed world. We are the richest bloody nation on earth. We've got more of everything, except the one thing we've got more of is bloody stupidity and communism in Canberra, and it has to go. It just has to go. Go Herge. Oh, look at this. We must be cohesive. It must work. We must keep all these incompatible components of water and oil together. We've got to mix it up so as it's all nice, googly pop mess. Bullshit. It has to stop. And the Australian Federal Police, every one of you blokes working in that office, in that uniform, you understand this, that you are not the Commonwealth Police. You are a corporation with an ABN number, and a corporation that has an ABN number cannot make laws, cannot pass laws, and cannot enforce laws. Period. That's the bloody rules. And every crisis, oh, here's Julie, here she comes, right? Every crisis, every distraction, every carrot, every stick is leading you down this track, the digital ID. And when you get there, it's impossible to come back. It will be impossible to come back. And look, here's Julie Inman-Grant, the E-Safety Commissioner at the World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum, look them up. They're not nice people. And they had and I could show you on another clip, but there's a guy that works there. I forget his name now. He's a weedy looking little thing. And he talks about the gaining of data and mining the data. And whoever has the most data will control the world. And it won't be controlled by some god in the sky. It will be controlled by the god of the data. And we, meaning the World Economic Forum, will tell you where you can go and what groceries you can buy and when you can do it. They've got that on record. And this skank here, Julie Inman-Grant, she is working for them. She's got a little spot here in Australia. And this digital ID safety bullshit for the kids on Facebook, it's a trap. It's a trap. Period. In full stop. It's a trap. No, do not. And she's an American-born woman. I still believe she's a CIA agent, and the whole thing must be stopped. She's got to be stopped. Remember the International Covenant, and right, we have, through the Human Rights Commission, everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include the freedom to seek, receive, impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers, either orally, in writing, or in print, in the form of art, or through any other media we choose. That's where we're going to be on Friday, the 31st of October, 5 p.m. And it's not far from the Gawler railway station. You just walk across the road. It's pretty handy, really. And this is my symbolism. I love this. I love this, the Mockingjay. Christianity is under fire. Your way of life is about to be destroyed. You've had your grand finals, the football, the rugby, you've had Bathurst, you've had all that sort of stuff, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of you attended or watched it on TV? Well, it's time to come out from behind the TV. Time to turn that bloody thing off. It's time for you and I to get absolutely dead set serious. This country is about to go to hell in a handbag for the want of you standing up. Stand up. It won't hurt. You'll be so proud of yourself. Stand up. Speak up. Pray. Perhaps go to your pastor in your church and ask him, will he come to Gawler on the 31st? Just a thought. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Dwyer. I wish I had the further reach than what I've got. I don't. It is what it is. This video will reach whoever it reaches. And you and I will do whatever it is we can do. But I will tell you this. I will not comply with bad laws. I will not bow down to any man who has no authority over me. The only way he will put me on my knees is with a bullet in my chest. My name's Tim Dwyer. I do love this country and I will stand up for it. I just hope you will too. See you later.